chance, you have to take that chance to be there.
My weather shows 60% on Saturday with the high of 63.
See, I'm showing 50 with 63, but
yeah,
even at a 50% chance of rain, you have to be there.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
especially if you're going to run for points, you're going to have to make the trek no matter what. And gosh, it's just what guys have to do, because nobody can accurately predict the weather, whether we're going to race or not. Nobody can say that for sure until the time comes. Not in this
time of year in Oregon.
Not in Oregon, period.
It changes by the hour.
Yeah.
But, that's the thing. Like you said, it is the opening race. It is 1,000 to win for the modifieds. And
yeah, it's
50% chance you're looking at it going, do I go there or do I go to Grove? Because Cottage Grove's showing 60% chance of rain tomorrow, mostly sunny on Friday, and then cloudy and 63 on Sunday. Or Saturday. Doesn't say anything about rain down there at Grove.
Wow.
Okay.
Interesting.
So that's kind of where I'm thinking Joey's looking at this stuff with Dan Diebel.
Could be.
And then for Sunset, again, 70% chance tomorrow, mostly sunny on Friday, with a 60% chance of rain, and 62 degrees is the high on Saturday.
Yeah, it looks like the northern Willamette Valley is out in the southern end.
It's not looking good, but again,
you never can tell. That's going to change by tonight or in the morning.
It probably will.
Hopefully to the good, not to the bad.
I looked at this report about 2 hours ago is when I got my numbers. And
right.
Like I said, it changes by the hour. That might be a totally different thing tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
It could be 75 and clear.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully we can get a race in. Gosh, dang it. Every year the converssion is, well, why don't we just start in May? But
so you have more rainouts?
Yeah. Well, there's been times in April where we raced every race.
Right.
But it's not very often.
Now, 2 years ago, there was 26 races on the schedule at Sunset, and they got in the first 18 races before they had a rainout.
Yeah.
And that's just, you never know with the Pacific Northwest. You never know what the weather's going to do. And when I saw Saturday at Willamette for a 50% chance, I went, you got to be kidding me.
Well, that being said, if it does rain out at Willamette, there's going to be a lot of modifieds heading a little farther south.
Well, and they will load up and roll.
They will. Heck yeah.
And maybe we'll follow them. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Heck yeah.
The flip side to that is, if they do race at Willamette Speedway, it will be one fast racetrack. You can guarantee that.
Yeah.
It's a good chance you might see a modified track record set. I mean,
very easily.
It could happen. That's the kind of weather you want for track records. You want that overcast and the clouds and the cool air and the moisture in the track.
Just get that track to hold, man, and not rut up like it's been doing.
Well, those guys are probably out there all week with the big tractors and the graders and the, what they're doing. And I know
they're doing their best.
Well, and that's all they can do.
That's right.
That's all we can hope for, and it'll be interesting to see what really goes on the rest of the week, because what do we got? Your phone's dinging over here.
Is Jolene? I mean, Joel. I can't say what he said.
Oh, he's one of those. Okay. I got you. So if you guys want to take a look at that Ferrari front end on the nose of Tomas Hunsker's car, we've actually got it posted on Moxie. Feel free to go on there and take a peek. Kind of a cool deal.
Good job on multitasking there, Corey. You're the
I'm getting better at this.
Man.
I'm getting better at this thing. So
yeah, technology. You and Joel handle all that. I love sitting back and letting you do it. It's like, no, I don't know how. Not gonna try.
We'll get you brought up to speed.
I'd rather be out at the pits.
That's what you're
letting
saying.
You know what's going on out there instead of this. But I enjoy this.
Don't get me wrong. Going to be a little busier this year at Willamette Speedway, because we might as well just get it out there. You're going to have a mic on you.
Yeah. And
you're going to be talking to people in the pit area when something goes on or something cool is happening or
whatever's happening. Yeah. Let the people. It's it's so much different with the pits out back now.
It is,
where they used to be in the middle. You could watch your team
doing
whatever they're doing out there in the middle, which was all. That was way cool, but it was time to change. It had to be changed.
Well, there's
so many cars and
right,
and then insurance liabilities. I'm sure. So
absolutely,
it had to be that way.
And for the racer, I mean, I know it sucks for the fans. Especially if you've been out there 40 years like we have. To see the pit area empty, you get a better view of the racetrack, but you don't get to see the action and the shenanigans in between races.
Yeah.
That being said, for the racers, they pull the car in, or the truck, they drop the trailer door, and they're ready to go.
Yeah.
It's a lot less hectic than it used to be, having to bring trailers in and out of the pits and load things up and take 2 hours to get out. So
latecomers having to stop practice to let them in and whatnot. Yeah,
there's pros and cons to it. I think overall, though, for the racers, it's better.
Yeah,
for the fans,
I like the way the pits are laid out. For the racers, I mean, I think it's great out there.
What we're talking about is the reason why you're going to have a mic is because for the fans. We're all about making a better experience for the fans when they're at the racetrack. Now, you and I communicate a lot through headsets at the track, whether it's me, you, and Sandy and Joel on the headsets or whatever, talking, relaying information back and forth. If people could hear what goes on with what we're doing during the races, they'd be like, how do you guys do what you do?
Well, how do you do what you do, man? You got a radio, you've got a mic, and you've got a computer sitting next to you talking lap times and this and that, and man, you're all over the place and coordinating it very well.
So
my hat's off
from
to you.
my spot, I get to see everything, so I get that full experience. I want to try to give that to the fans the best we can,
and I want to help do that.
So with you in the pit area with a mic this year, bringing on on this PA to the fans, what's going on?
Well, I hope I'm going to have to be able to hear the speakers that you're talking to the fans on, or what I'll be talking on. I have to hear that. So if we're interacting in a conversation, I don't know how we got to work out the details on that because it's going to be tough.
That's what our headsets are for.
Well, but I don't have the radio. I mean, I don't hear what you're saying unless you're keyed up, and if you're keyed up, I can't talk. So we'll work all that out.
It's all good.
I'm thinking out loud here at the moment.
You're making it too difficult. I've already got this all figured out.
Totally, I'm not technology, man.
That's awesome.
All right, I'm glad you got it all figured out.
I looked at the schedule, and one thing that kind of surprised me, I think there was 24, 23 races scheduled for Willamette?
Yeah.
17 of those are going to have late models.
Perfect.
I was hoping to see more.
Yeah.
But you and I we're late model guys. And not to say that we don't like the other classes, but that's just kind of
partial to late models.
And I love the modifieds, and I
especially
love the street.
They're really growing on me.
Yeah,
yeah,
they're fun. They do.
They are.
When you get enough of them out there, boy, it's some good racing. But
yeah. As really this weekend will be if we get to go.
Man, I hope we get to go because
should be a large car count in the modifieds.
$1,000 to win.
Heck yeah!
You'll see the best of the best, hopefully. And if we get a green flag, it's all we're praying for.
Yeah,
it's all we're praying for at this point. So, we got a phone call at Moxie yesterday. Dan Diebel called in. And I've been trying to get a hold of this association, and they will not call me back. So if you guys are listening, Troy Norton and Link Up Vets, pay attention because Dan Diebel, we've talked about this numerous times on the show, his super sport car, he is calling his charity car.
Charity car, yeah.
So the deal with that car is every week he is going to race for a new charity. Okay? Let me explain this to the fans and the people listening. He's going to race for a new charity every week. The opening week, he's going to do Link Up Vets. They were here at the car show, and it's a veterans deal where they take veterans out to do fishing and just stuff that they can't normally do without having the means.
All right.
It's a really cool organization. So he says to me, Corey, he says, I'm going to write you a blank check. Because I'm going to write you a blank check, and I want you to match up to $500 what you can get from the crowd. Okay? So if the crowd donates $500, he's going to write a check for $500, okay? Or I'll write it. And all those winnings, he's going to start in the back, okay? If he wins that race, all those winnings
then $1,000
will go to Link Up Vets.
All right.
To help out those veterans, okay?
For that week.
For that week, right.
And that's the one, is that who's doing this week?
Yep.
Okay,
Link Up Vets.
I got you.
If we can get a hold of him, so if you guys are listening, Troy Norton, Link Up Vets, hit us up, call me, whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
Not now, wait till after 9. So he also said, listen, if we can't get enough in the pot and it's a slow night with donations, we're going to roll it over to the next week and race for the same charity. So, I mean, he's pretty serious about this deal, helping out local charities. And, whether it's a veterans organization, whether it's the Lebanon Soup Kitchen or something for the Willamette Valley Food Banks or whatever.
Shriners, whatever.
Shriners, yep.
Yeah.
He is using that car and everything it makes this year towards charity.
That is so awesome. That's just stand-up stuff right there, man.
It's the first time I've heard of a driver doing something like this.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
I mean, donating everything that car wins, which, it could be a lot.
That's the charity car.
Yeah.
That's way cool.
If you see it, it's got the American colors on it. It's got the flag down the side. And, all that cool stuff. So it's got a lot of
character, if you
will. Very cool race car. That's
a
nice car. So,
yes, it is.
I'm excited to see what he does with that car this year. Because, we were talking about Super Sport class, and I predicted the champion as Brian Winkler.
Yeah, you did.
And then I got to thinking about this. Now, if Diebel runs every race,
which he will,
as fast as he was last year, and with this as motivation, this could be a hardcore year for the Super Sports.
Yeah,
because
undoubtedly, I think there's going to be a bigger Super Sport class this year. I think.
Well, and we've seen Adam Walker, the 21 car with the old school outlaw look. I mean, this thing is, you saw it.
Yeah.
Bad to the bone.
Yes.
I mean, looks like something that came out of 1986. I mean, it's a cool looking race car. So we did hear that Walker's going to run that, and some other new cars coming to the Super Sport division, which I am thrilled about. Because just the appearance.
Those guys are a lot of fun too.
They are.
Every class is fun out there. I don't. You look at the. What do we call them? The Hornets. Mm-hmm. I was like, when they first showed up out there, I think I said this last week. I was like, oh my God, what's going on here? But actually, those guys it got better, and they ended up putting on a good show. So there's no boring classes out there, that's for sure.
No, and when we get more and more like that Hornet Challenge that Jeremy Means puts on,
right?
What do we have, like 40-something of those little suckers buzzing around? And
Skip's got one for this year.
There has got to worry a lot of drivers.
I hope he's listening.
I'm sure he is.
He better be.
He's probably telling me I'm number one right now.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you, Skip. I'm sure you'll do just fine.
Yeah.
I love it. That is awesome. So, man, it has been just nerve-wracking trying to get this season started.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I can't wait till we can come in here Wednesday and talk about the previous Saturday.
Are you looking
all that happened at the track, versus this is what we think might happen, and all the speculation. But we'll get to it. Summer's got to get here sooner or later.
We've got some action here on the Swears Trucking chat line. Look at this.
Yep.
I mean, it's
grab my
messages
specs.
everywhere here. So, Frisbee was there, the 17 car.
And
we talked about that. You talk about a nice sport mod.
Yeah.
Just like Mike Medell. I mean, I don't know if you're going to find anything nicer
in
that
sweet.
division, at least. But, he says, thanks for letting us get on the track. He says, rough or not, it was great to get in the car. So,
Heck yeah. Yep. I'm sure that's a common feeling amongst all the drivers who were out there.
So, no modifieds at Grove this week. Except the sport mods. Sport mods will be there.
Okay.
So it sounds like Joey. Now Joey told me he was going to be in a modified. Frisbee's saying he's going to be in a late model. So I would tend to
late models are running Cottage Grove this weekend. Okay, that's probably. I'm certain that's where that's going then.
Man, this is.
I'd bet money on it anyway.
Ferrando steps up and says, "Hey, I predict we're going to race at Willamette." So
right on, Gray. I love your optimism.
I like the energy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And one of our sponsors, Dave Stahl from Northwest Trucking Academy, he chimes in and says, the problem's not the track, it's the marshland around it. Basically saying the ground was soft.
Well, and that is true.
And the last thing you need to do is have 35 cars out in the parking lot stuck and 19 big giant tow rigs stunk. And that's
right.
And a lot of fans, they were all over Facebook bashing the track, and they said they were going to race 2 days ago. And listen,
people just got to understand how that works.
But they know. That's the thing. They know. This is the Northwest. This is what happens every year. You can't get mad about it.
Right.
You have to expect it. I mean, you really do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just kind of.
That is the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be. Deal with it.
Right, Mother Nature.
Yeah.
So we are going to have, I think, between the call-in line and the chat line, Swears Trucking and Crockers tonight, I think, when we get into our main topic. And we're going to spend a lot of time. This is going to be the majority of the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be hopefully we'll get some call-in comments on that. And we need more call-in. People call in.
Well, I think with tonight's topic,
we're probably going to get some.
Right.
Yeah.
So, talking about Dave Stahl, who just chimed in a moment ago, Northwest Trucking Academy.
Right.
He is I don't want to say president. I think he's vice president of Vietnam Vets of America, Chapter 585, local